We do want to bring in David Charns, who spent years covering news across this area of Maine. He is now with our Las Vegas affiliate. David, I appreciate you being here and providing some insight. Can you tell me what it is about this specific situation that may make it very hard to track the suspect down?
Well, Natasha, the last person you just talked to really hit the nail on the head there. This is a very densely forested area. Maine is called the pine tree state for a good reason. There are a lot of trees. There are a lot of places to hide. People live on very large plots of land, specifically in this area that we're talking about, which is about 45 minutes outside of Portland. People have sheds in their yards. People have areas where someone like this could hide. Also want to point out, though, that the area that we're talking about here in southern Maine isn't like the wilderness. I mean, this is a populated area of about 500,000 people in the southern Maine region. So we're not talking about, desolate, barren land that you might see in the northern part of the state. There are highways, there are routes for people to get around, which certainly law enforcement are going to look at, because we know that the suspect in this case got to at least Lisbon, Maine, which is about 20 minutes outside of Lewiston. That is where they found his car. The issue is, where did he go from there? Was there another car? Could someone maybe have helped him? Because there is a way to get out. There are highways in that area. There are ways to get out of the state. New Hampshire, as you just heard there, is not far away. Neither is Massachusetts. So there are certainly ways to get around, but at the same time, there are places to conceal yourself.
And for context, we know in last year, the entire state of Maine saw just 29 murders. 15 of those were domestic. This kind of crime is not anything Maine has seen in a very, very long time.
It is not, and this is something that will be a scar on Maine's history forever. Covering homicides in Maine, we maybe had one a month, particularly in the southern part of the state where I worked for 5 years. And as you mentioned, unfortunately, the majority of those cases were domestic violence related or they were drug related. So something like this, very rare. Maine has a long history of hunting, gun rights, responsible gun ownership. You would meet people who would go deer hunting or fishing, whatever they may want to do. Obviously, a lot of outdoors activities, but seeing something like this really in this community is unfathomable.
Can you talk about the resources that Maine police have to find the suspect?
Right. So in that press conference we saw earlier this morning, certainly the lead on this is Maine State Police. They have the most resources in a state of 1.3 million people. It is a large state for New England. It is the largest state in New England, the size of all the other states combined. But as you mentioned, there just aren't as many people. So there aren't a lot of resources in a state of 1.3 million. What we're going to see, though, is the help coming in from the FBI, from New Hampshire State Police, probably from Massachusetts State Police. I was talking to Ashley Banfield on her show last night saying the same is true when it comes to the medical resources. Maine just doesn't have the infrastructure to handle the influx of patients who needed help yesterday. So they were also probably going to New Hampshire. We know some of them were in Boston. And this is really going to be a coordinated effort for northern New England and really that whole region, because at this point, we just don't know where this guy went.
Yeah, that was a helpful piece of context. And I know you covered a lot during your time there. From your perspective, how easy would it be to commit a crime like this and to get away, to even hide away for an extended period of time?
So in the 2018, I believe it was, we had a similar situation where there was a gentleman who shot and killed a police officer. He was able to elude police for 4 days. They ultimately got him with thermal imaging with a helicopter and a police dog. That was in a much more confined area in the states, similar terms of people in a rural area where they found him, a wooded area. This is much more complex because they really have no idea at this point where this person is. And as we were watching the search unfold overnight with the use of that New Hampshire State Police helicopter circling in that Lisbon, Maine area where they found his car, the fact that they did not find him when I woke up this morning, that is not a good sign. The fact that they're telling people to shelter in place. I have friends in the state who are 45 minutes away, an hour away in the Portland area. You know, they don't even want to go outside, concerned for their safety. So hopefully we'll get more information, or we'll hear more information over the next couple days, hopefully in the next couple hours, really, over where they think this person is, so they can hopefully arrest him and hold him accountable.
Okay, David Charns, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.